notions for the night. Did my best to put my best foot forward for the celebrations of the day, while trying my best to not let everybody's celebrations get the better of me. I don't know if that's kind of like half-assing good presence or not, but it's kind of where I was. And then went on a long walk with tried to stir up as much as I could, and then quench it all at the same time, so that nothing would kind of create a barrier for any direction of forward movement. Meaning then that creating something that still holds some sort of creation, while then giving no direction to creation, that then it can proceed in any direction of creation from its point of creation. Which I just feel is full of a lot of harsh words. And then out of the harshness came an overwhelming sense of apologetic tones, as to where then I tried to perceive any form of arrogance towards anything around me, as to where I could exemplify the presences that were there. And then stirring up some previous thoughts in regards to creating things that kind of hang in the balance of lacking and achieving, to give sensations that there is perhaps more to doing it that way than perhaps in regards to doing it in a way which, and where it could be called something truly great, I guess. And then holding on to kind of like a feeling of never being satisfied, and also a feeling of needing to express, where then the need to express then kind of falls back into the notions of creating something which doesn't impede forward motion in any direction, but then still has some sort of way of getting above the fact that it holds no direction. Now I'm kind of sitting here thinking about connection, feeling like every form right now that presents itself as a possibility to connect will just inevitably lead to some form of not only heartbreak but pain. As to where then, I feel like really the only thing to do is just to kind of accept that as a kind of means to overcome the urges to seek some form of connection that will not necessarily be lasting in any sense. Is it simply that I am seeking the wrong forms of connection? Is it that the forms of connection that I am seeking are wrong? And then I wish to kind of witness the enterprises that represent things that I would wish to connect with, but then in so doing, am I just feeding into that ultimate feeling that I have come to a failure of being able to connect? where then I feel like the things that would allow me a momentary escape and feeling as though I can't connect with things in the way that I want would ultimately just lead me to have a more difficult time in connecting in the way that I want to. But then how is it that I quench those notions for the time being to allow then perhaps better connections to propose themselves to me later on, where then I am feeling this great urge to momentarily satisfy those urges. And speaking about them in a way gives me more comfort. Perhaps more sense that there is no urgency, and that I can be at a greater connection without those connections. Then I feel myself coming to notions that I am more childlike right now than I was 2 minutes ago. And then being able to have those things be satisfied without pursuing the ways in which I think would satisfy them. Then what more should I say now to then further that satisfaction? Is this a lasting way to overcome those feelings? Should I then take another break and come back and say more? And then will I be able to enter rest and arise from this rest with a greater sense of satisfaction? Or am I simply engorging another sense of having another way for heartbreak and pain to represent itself within the morning and then the day at hand when it does come. I do not know. Where this stargazing seems to be more in tune with quenching those notions of connection, even though they are things that are far away, unlike viewing things that are far away and other forms of media, staring up at the peace and solace of these still things that are such a great painting in the sky. And right now, they give comfort to my eyes and my mind. Like walking through a trail that gives peace to my eyes while still somehow having something to look at that doesn't tell me I have to look, maybe. But they're always there for me. Reminding me then, more so of when I was a child. Laying underneath the stars, and then perhaps I laid underneath them during the day as well. Then is this what I've been missing, is these starry aspects that in their dress and manner give something great to behold while their being is something easy on the eyes. such a peculiar thing that when that's the case, you walk straight through then I have notions that where would I go in sharing this? Where is it more of a dilemma to try to see the share, or to try to rationalize a way in which it is being shared in a way without my seeing it's being shared? And then I picture figures within my mind and try to choose the one which I feel represents this idea more fully than the other. With senses of reality waging against senses of perceived notions of a dream. Then will this even be a nightly occurrence? To try to invoke this sensation? Which then itself brings a sense of uneasiness to my sense of peace, even now. Where my sense to try to prove and understand and follow a path until I can add upon it represents some aspect of feeling like I am grown up. What itself is only an attempt to give myself jurisdiction, and then having one of those connections aforementioned